Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight I'm going to be doing another album review, and tonight's album I'm going to be talking about is another personal favorite of mine, probably top 10, and that record is The Caitiff Choir by It Dies Today. So this record came out in 2004, and it was released through Trustkill Records. And if you know anything about the music scene, especially in the genres of like metalcore and hardcore and all that kind of stuff, Trustkill Records, back then at least, was one of the biggest labels independently that you could be signed to. I would kind of compare it to being signed to Sumerian Records today. You know, they're a very big independent label, and, you know, a lot of the best bands in the scene right now are signed to them. Some other notable acts that you might recognize on Trustkill back then were bands like Bleeding Through, 18 Visions, Throwdown. I think Terror was on there. Lots of legacy bands like that from Orange County and California in general. But It Dies Today is from Buffalo, New York, and they are probably the best band to have ever come out on this label, to be completely honest. At least to me, they are. Much like Relentless by For the Fallen Dreams, this record is a record that I literally don't turn off any song. I don't skip any songs. Every song is a banger. I love every single song equally as much as the other. And it's just one of those records. This band has one of my favorite vocalists of all time. His name is Nick Brooks. And unfortunately, after their second album, Sirens, he had quit the band. But back in, I think it was 2014, they did reunion shows for the 10-year anniversary of this record, and he came back to do vocals. And I am very pissed that I did not go to New York to go see them. I really wish they would have done shows out here. I think it would have done well. I at least would have gone, and I know my friend Tim would have gone. Him and I bond over this band a lot. We talk about this record all the time, and we always like to tap the breakdowns on our like dashboard or our desks and just, you know, have fun doing that. It's a little thing that him and I like to do, and it annoys a lot of people, but it's really fun for us at least. What I love about this record is that there are so many different types of songs. There are a lot of songs on here that are straight to the point, very heavy, very fast, and, you know, has no clean singing. And then there are some that have, you know, a mixture of clean singing and heavy parts and screaming and all that kind of stuff. And then there are a few songs on here that are predominantly clean singing, a little bit softer, and have like a heavy part here and there with screaming, and it's, you know, they're very fun. Every single song is fun. If you were to hear any of these breakdowns now, you'd probably mosh very, very hard. At least for me, I would fucking dislocate my shoulders moshing to these songs. This record starts off with the song My Promise, and that is probably one of the heaviest intro tracks I've ever heard on a record, especially in metalcore. It has this like staticky kind of effect. You kind of hear it like building up in the background. There's a little bit of guitar chugging underneath it, and then it just hits in with this fucking oh, and you hear the fucking breakdown kick in, and dude, it is just so fucking heavy. I'll play it for you right here. And this song has also one of the most chaotic ending breakdowns I've ever heard. The pattern is it's so scattered and all over the place. When you're first listening to it, you're like, where does it start and where does it end? It's such a odd choice of chugging patterns that they chose, but god damn it, did they pull it off. I'll play a little bit for you right here. And what I also love about this ending breakdown is the overlaying of Nick's vocals. Just like he says one phrase and then like that goes over the next one, that goes over the next one, that goes over the next one. It's so, again, it's fucking chaotic, and I fucking love that track. It's one of my favorite tracks on this record. Another heavy track that is one of my favorites that is, you know, it's the fourth track. It's called the Depravity Waltz, and it's not necessarily a deep cut, but it is one of the better heavy tracks on the record. It just starts off with this guitar slide into a circle pit, and I'll play it for you right here. Just fucking guns blazing, dude. It's just fucking right off the bat. It's like, it doesn't like, I'm speechless. It's to me, it's that fucking good. One of the deep cuts on here called the Caitiff Choir Revelations is another really good heavy song, which I'll play my favorite part right here. That breakdown that I played, I remember like learning, not necessarily learning it on drums, but I remember I like to tap along with my feet to the breakdown of most breakdowns. And I'm just like, I remember having such a hard time doing it. And I remember when I finally did, I was in class in high school once, and I remember tapping along to it. And this kid that sat behind me goes, "You know, you can't do that in drums, right? You know, can you do it with one foot?" I'm like, "Dude, it's called double bass. That's a thing." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I remember that. So there are two singles that were pushed pretty heavily off of this record. One was Severed Ties Yield Severed Heads, and the other one was A Threnody for Modern Romance. The choruses for both of these songs are amazing. They're so catchy. And I'll actually play the one from Severed Ties right here. Super catchy, super fun. And the one from A Threnody for Modern Romance, I think once you hear that, you're going to want to listen to that over and over and over again. I know I did when I first heard it, so I'll play a little clip for you right here. Such a good chorus, so powerful, so catchy. I remember seeing the music video for this song on my friend Matt Halliday's MySpace page, where you could like HTML code in shit on customize your profile. I remember seeing that on his profile, and I'm like, fucking A, man, who is that band? Because it didn't say what band it was. It just played the song. And I remember going to school the next day, and I asked him, I'm like, "Yo, what band is that on your MySpace?" He's like, "Oh, It Dies Today, man, check them out." And I remember like I was so obsessed with this band because of this record pretty much all of junior year of high school. I remember having one of their promo pictures as the background to my MySpace for like literally all of junior year of high school, or at least for a vast majority of it. And A Threnody for Modern Romance and a few other songs from this record flip-flopped around as my profile song. So needless to say, I was very obsessed with them, and I still am to this day. Much like Relentless by For the Fallen Dreams, the play count on my iPod for these songs was very, very high, within at least a few hundred per song. And some of the tracks on this record make it consistently into my top 100 songs of whatever year it is on my Spotify. And one thing I really love about this record is I think it's super before its time. There are a few records that I believe are before its time, and this record definitely is one of them. You know, for 2004, there was a very distinct sound to a lot of metalcore bands. If you listen to bands like Haste Today and like As I Lay Dying and Atreyu and like Avenged Sevenfold, you listen to those bands and, you know, it's not like generic. I mean, it would be by today's standards, but like you listen to bands like that, and then you listen to a band like It Dies Today, they have a lot of those types of parts, but the way that they do it to me is a little bit more, I don't know, there's a difference to how they do it. There's something about how they do those typical metalcore riffs and typical metalcore sound that to me, it's like, this is so not generic to me. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they did that, and they definitely succeeded. This band, you know, they were pretty big for their time. You know, they were on a couple prestigious festivals. They did a year of Ozfest. They did Sounds of the Underground. They did Hellfest and all that kind of stuff. They did all of those like big name festivals back in the day. I unfortunately have never seen this band live. I wish I could have. I definitely had the chance to, maybe like, I think in like 2010, when their new vocalist was in the band. They were playing at the Whiskey and I didn't go, and I'm honestly really pissed that I didn't go. But I'm digressing too much. Let's go back to the record. As I had said, there was a very mixed sound to all of the songs. You know, we talked about how they have a lot of heavy songs, how they have a lot of mixed with the heavy and the poppy. And there is a couple songs on here, one of which called The Radiance, which is predominantly clean singing. And there is a song called Marigold on here that is predominantly clean singing as well. And then the song called Nania or Nania, I don't know how it's pronounced. I apologize. But that song is also predominantly clean singing with one heavy part, and it's just fucking incredible. It's, again, every song is a 10 out of 10 banger. I don't skip one track. So I know I've said that 1,000 times already, but this is just how much I love this record. And I've also shown some people this record recently. I know I showed my friend Craig this record maybe a couple months ago. And, I let him know hey, this is a very old record. It came out in 2004. And, my friend Craig is 20, 21 years old. And, he likes all of the music from back then, but he didn't know who this band was. And when I showed him it, he was like, God fucking damn, dude. I fucking am so glad you showed me this record. And I'm like, me too, because now you know what the good shit is. Not that the music now isn't, but this shit right here, this, I believe, much like how For the Fallen Dreams paved the way for heavy melodic hardcore, this really paved the way for new metalcore. Brendan from Counterparts loves this band. He has an It Dies Today Caitiff Choir cutoff that I've seen him wear in multiple sets, and I'm like, I want to talk to him about this record. Brendan Murphy, if you're watching this, can we please have a chat about this? I would love that fucking more than anything. Please. So with all of this being said, I honestly cannot praise this record enough for what it has done for me in my life. If ever I'm in a shitty mood or I'm just not feeling it, I always pop this record on and I immediately feel better. I am automatically transported back into my dad's Pontiac Bonneville, popping this CD into my fucking CD player, taking my fucking friends to school and just jamming. That's just immediately what I think of when I hear this record. I literally feel 16 again when I hear it. And I will always thank this band for getting me through my junior year of high school, because honestly, without them, I don't know what I would have done. It means that much to me. So to wrap this up, if you have not heard this record, I will put a link in the description of where you can listen to it. I'll probably put the Spotify link that I have made a playlist of for this record, and I'll put a description probably for, a YouTube full album stream of some kind. I'll put that down in the description below as well, just so in case you guys want to listen to this, if you've never heard it, you have a couple of ways to check this out. I want to thank everybody real quick who has subscribed to my channel within the past few days. It really means a lot to me. Please continue to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Please share this around with all of your friends. It would mean the absolute world to me. Also, if you have heard this record, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite song off of this record is. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.